what your consciousness is actually hiding in the quantum field. Your mind hid this. And here is the first thing you need to understand. It didn't hide it from the world. It hid it from you. Right now, as you are sitting wherever you are sitting, breathing whatever breath you are breathing, your energy field is doing something that your conscious mind has been carefully, systematically, and very effectively concealing from your awareness. Not because you are broken, not because something is wrong with you, but because the human mind, in its extraordinary evolutionary wisdom, developed a set of mechanisms specifically designed to keep certain frequencies of your own light below the threshold of your conscious recognition. And those frequencies, the ones your mind has been hiding, are the ones that matter most to what the quantum field assembles around you. This is not a metaphor. This is not spiritual language dressed up to sound like science. What we are going to explore today is a specific and measurable phenomenon that sits at the intersection of quantum mechanics, cognitive neuroscience, and the electromagnetic physics of your personal energy field. And by the time we are done, you will understand not only what your consciousness has been hiding, but why it hid it, where it went, and how to bring it back into your broadcast. Because here is what changes when you recover what was hidden. The signal your field has been sending into the quantum field changes, not gradually, not over months of practice. The signal changes the moment the hidden frequency becomes conscious. And when the signal changes, what reality assembles around you changes with it. So let's begin at the beginning. Let's begin with what your field is actually broadcasting right now, underneath the signal your conscious mind thinks it's sending. You have probably had the experience of intending one thing and getting another. You set an intention. You visualized. You affirmed. You did everything right by the book. And the reality that assembled around you looked nothing like what you thought you were broadcasting. And the common explanation for this is that you didn't believe hard enough, or your vibration wasn't high enough, or there was some other deficiency in your practice. But that explanation misses the actual mechanism. The reason your reality didn't match your intention was not a failure of belief. It was a mismatch between your conscious signal and your field signal. Your conscious mind was broadcasting one thing. Your energy field was broadcasting something else. And the quantum field, which does not read your intentions, which reads only the actual electromagnetic coherence pattern your field is producing, responded to the real signal, not the intended one. This is the hiding. This is what your consciousness does. It constructs a version of your signal that it presents to you as the truth of what you are broadcasting, while the actual field, the one your heart generates and your nervous system amplifies, continues to carry frequencies that your conscious mind has decided are too dangerous, too painful, too old, or too large to look at directly. And those hidden frequencies are not small. They are not minor distortions in an otherwise clean signal. They are, in many cases, the dominant frequency of your field, the loudest thing you are broadcasting, the thing the quantum field is most clearly receiving from you. And you don't know they're there because your consciousness hid them. If this is landing for you, here's something I want to share with you before we go further. Have you spent years trying to feel lit up again? Visualizations, affirmations, vibration work, and the light still won't hold? Every one of those methods is telling you to push harder, do more, add another technique. It's not working because the issue isn't that you don't have enough light. 6 specific patterns are sitting on top of it. They're called the frequencies of forgetting. The remembering field, a quantum guide to returning to the light. You forgot you were carrying walks through all 5 parts of getting those patterns off you. Every tool you used tried to add more light. This one lifts what's been sitting on the light you already carry. The longer you wait, the harder they get to clear. So go open it tonight. The link is in the pinned comment below. Now let's go deeper into the exact mechanism your consciousness uses to keep these frequencies concealed. Let me show you exactly how this works at the level of your actual electromagnetic field. Your heart generates the largest electromagnetic field of any organ in your body. This is not disputed. The HeartMath Institute has been measuring this field for decades, and their instrumentation has confirmed that the heart's electrical field is approximately 60 times greater in amplitude than the electrical activity of the brain. The heart's magnetic field is approximately 100 times stronger than the brain's magnetic field and can be detected several feet outside the body using sensitive magnetometers called squids, which stands for superconducting quantum interference devices. This field is not static. It pulses with every heartbeat, and the pattern of that pulse, the specific rhythm, the intervals between beats, the shape of the waveform, carries information, real, measurable, encodable information about the state of the system generating it. And that information radiates outward from your body in every direction, at every moment. Now here is where the hiding becomes visible at the physics level. The pattern of your heart's electromagnetic field is directly shaped by your autonomic nervous system, specifically by the balance between your sympathetic and parasympathetic branches. When you are in a state that heart math researchers call heart coherence, a state where the two branches of your autonomic nervous system are in smooth, rhythmic balance, your heart's electromagnetic field takes on a specific, measurable pattern. The intervals between your heartbeats become ordered. They rise and fall in a smooth, sine wave-like rhythm. The information encoded in your field becomes, in the technical sense, coherent, clear, organized, high amplitude. When you are in a state of incoherence, when your autonomic nervous system is dysregulated, which happens under stress, under suppressed emotion, under the weight of unresolved patterns, your heart rate variability becomes chaotic. The intervals between beats become erratic. The field pattern becomes what researchers call an incoherent signal, not weaker in raw power, but scrambled in information quality. The signal your field broadcasts becomes, at the electromagnetic level, noise. And here is the critical point. The suppressed frequencies, the ones your consciousness has hidden, generate incoherence. Every time your nervous system encounters a hidden pattern, a suppressed memory, an unfelt emotion, a belief that operates below the threshold of your awareness, it responds with a physiological stress response. Even if you don't feel it consciously, even if you have no idea it's happening, your autonomic nervous system knows, and it registers that hidden content as a threat, which dysregulates the balance between its branches, which scrambles your heart's electromagnetic field pattern, which changes the information your field broadcasts into the quantum field. You are walking around broadcasting a signal shaped by things you don't know you're carrying. That is what your consciousness is hiding in the quantum field. Now, let me tell you what kinds of things get hidden, because this is where the understanding becomes personal and precise. There are 4 primary categories of hidden frequency that appear consistently in the human energy field, and each one has a distinct electromagnetic signature, a distinct effect on field coherence, and a distinct pattern in terms of what reality it tends to assemble around the person carrying it. The first category is suppressed capacity. This is perhaps the most counterintuitive of the 4, because we tend to think of what's hidden as something painful or limiting. But some of the most powerful and disruptive hidden frequencies in the human energy field are frequencies of extraordinary capability that the person has been conditioned to conceal. Here is what happens neurologically, and electromagnetically when this occurs. A child demonstrates a capacity, perhaps an unusual perceptiveness, a creative power, an intensity of feeling, a quality of knowing that exceeds what the people around them can comfortably receive. And the people around them, not out of malice but out of their own limitations, respond in ways that communicate. This is too much. Be less. Dim that. And the child, who depends on those people for survival, does what survival requires. They suppress the capacity. They learn to hide it, not just behaviorally, neurologically. The neural pathways associated with that capacity begin to be actively inhibited. The autonomic activation that accompanied full expression of that capacity becomes associated with danger, and the nervous system learns to suppress it before it can surface. But the capacity doesn't disappear. It goes underground. It becomes a hidden frequency in the field. And because it was suppressed under conditions of stress, because the nervous system learned to associate it with danger, every time it tries to surface, the autonomic nervous system responds with a stress response, which generates incoherence, which scrambles the field signal. This is why some people feel a persistent, low-level anxiety that they cannot trace to a current circumstance. It is not anxiety about something happening now. It is the nervous system's stress response to its own suppressed capacities trying to emerge. The field is carrying a frequency of power that the system has been trained to treat as a threat, and the quantum field receives that signal. It assembles reality around a person who is simultaneously broadcasting enormous capacity and the stress response of someone for whom that capacity is dangerous. What tends to assemble is a life that keeps that capacity just out of reach. Opportunities that almost materialize. Connections that almost form. Moments where the full power almost comes through. And then something stops it. That something is the hidden frequency, broadcasting its suppression into the field. The second category is unprocessed grief. And I want to be precise here about what grief is electromagnetically, because the common understanding of grief as an emotion misses its actual nature as a field phenomenon. Grief is not sadness. Grief is the electromagnetic residue of attachment. When you love something, when you organize your field around a person, a place, a version of yourself, a future you believed in, your electromagnetic field literally entrains to that thing. The coherence pattern of your heart field begins to include the frequency of that relationship. This is measurable. Couples in close proximity show measurable synchronization of their heart rate variability patterns. People in states of deep connection show field entrainment that researchers can detect instrumentally. When that thing is lost, the field doesn't simply stop including that frequency. The entrainment pattern remains in the field as a kind of electromagnetic echo, an organized pattern that is still broadcasting the frequency of what is no longer there to receive it. If that grief is processed, if the loss is felt fully and moved through completely, the field gradually releases the entrainment pattern. The echo fades. The field reorganizes around the present. But if the grief is suppressed, if the loss is too large to feel directly, if the culture or the family or the sheer overwhelm of the moment makes full feeling impossible, the entrainment pattern stays. It becomes a hidden frequency. The field continues broadcasting the signal of connection to something that is gone, while the conscious mind has moved on or tried to. And what does the quantum field assemble around a person broadcasting this signal? It assembles situations that resonate with loss, not because the universe is punishing them, but because the frequency they are most strongly broadcasting is the frequency of something beloved that is absent. And the quantum field, which operates on resonance, reflects that frequency back. The person wonders why they keep losing things they care about, why connections keep ending, why the good keeps slipping away. They don't know they are broadcasting the frequency of loss, because the grief is hidden. Their conscious mind has decided it's done. Their field hasn't. The third category is inherited frequency. This is the one that surprises people most, because it suggests that what you are hiding in your field may not even be originally yours. Here is the science of this. Human beings are not born as blank electromagnetic slates. We are born already entrained to some degree to the field of our primary caregivers. The fetus in utero is bathed in the electromagnetic field of the mother's heart for the entire duration of gestation. The mother's heart rate variability patterns, her coherence or incoherence, her dominant emotional frequencies, these are the first electromagnetic environment the developing nervous system experiences. After birth, the infant's nervous system continues to entrain to the field of its caregivers. This is not a metaphorical influence. Researchers have measured that infants and mothers show synchronized physiological responses even across a physical separation. The nervous system of the child literally learns to resonate with the field of the parent. And what this means is that the dominant frequencies of your parent's unprocessed material, their suppressed grief, their hidden fears, their unfelt losses, their unexpressed capacities. These frequencies were part of the electromagnetic environment your nervous system learned to resonate with. They became part of your field's baseline pattern. Not because you chose them, but because your nervous system, in its exquisite sensitivity, entrained to the field it was immersed in. This is what epigenetics is beginning to map at the genetic level. The field influence comes first. The genetic expression follows. Children of parents who experienced significant trauma show measurable changes in stress, hormone regulation, in nervous system reactivity, in the baseline coherence of their own heart rate. Variability patterns. The field transmission precedes and shapes the biological expression. So, some of what your consciousness is hiding in the quantum field is not a memory from your own life. It is a frequency your nervous system absorbed from a field it was immersed in before it had any choice in the matter. And because it was absorbed so early, so completely, it feels like you. It feels like your natural baseline. It doesn't feel like something that was given to you, because you never knew yourself without it. But your field knows, and it broadcasts that frequency alongside everything else. And the quantum field responds to it as if it were your own signal, because electromagnetically, it is indistinguishable from your own signal. The fourth category is the unexpressed true self, and this is perhaps the most important one, because it is the category that most directly connects to the concept of your aura as a creative instrument. Your true self, the version of you that exists before conditioning, before suppression, before the accumulated weight of what you learned to hide, has a specific electromagnetic signature, a specific coherence pattern, a specific frequency. And it is not a poetic or philosophical concept. It is a real, measurable quality of field coherence that emerges when the nervous system is in a state of full, undefended presence. Researchers studying states of what they call optimal human functioning, states of flow, of deep creative engagement, of genuine love, of what Maslow called self-actualization, have found consistent physiological signatures: high heart rate variability, high coherence in the heart's electromagnetic field, a specific pattern of neural synchronization across the brain, a measurable quality of what researchers call positive affect that is distinct from the absence of negative affect. It is not just the removal of stress. It is the presence of a specific frequency. That frequency is what we might call your true signal. The broadcast your field produces when nothing is suppressed, nothing is hidden, nothing is held back. And most people have experienced it in moments, in flashes. The moment of total creative absorption when you forgot yourself completely and something extraordinary came through. The moment of love so complete that there was no self-consciousness, no performance, just presence. The moment you walked into a situation without armor and found that your undefended presence was the most powerful thing in the room. Those moments were not accidents. They were moments when the hidden frequencies temporarily cleared and your true signal came through at full coherence. And then the hiding resumed, the conditioning reasserted. The suppression came back online, and the moment passed. But the frequency is still there. It didn't go anywhere. It is in your field right now, underneath everything your consciousness has piled on top of it, broadcasting at whatever amplitude the suppression allows it to broadcast at, which, for most people, is significantly less than full. Now let me tell you the story of a woman named Miriam, because the abstract becomes real in the specific, and the specific is where the understanding actually lands. Miriam was 37 years old, and by every external measure, she was succeeding. She had built a business over 10 years that was genuinely good at what it did. She had people around her who loved her. She had a life that, when she described it to others, sounded full and meaningful. And she could not understand why she felt like she was watching it from behind glass. That is the phrase she used. Behind glass. Present, but not quite touching. There, but not quite arrived. Like there was a membrane between her and her own life, and she could see everything through it, but she couldn't quite feel it. She had done therapy. She had done meditation. She had read every book about presence and consciousness and awakening that she could find. And the glass remained. What Miriam didn't know, what her consciousness had very effectively hidden from her, was that she was carrying categories of hidden frequency simultaneously. The suppressed capacity. Miriam had been an extraordinarily perceptive child. Not just emotionally perceptive, though she was that too. She had a quality of seeing that went beyond ordinary observation. She would know things about people and situations that she had no logical basis for knowing. She would sense the truth underneath what was being said. She would feel the energy of a room the moment she walked into it, with a clarity that was almost overwhelming. And the adults in her childhood had found this deeply uncomfortable, not because they were bad people, but because Miriam's perceptiveness saw through the carefully maintained fictions that kept her family system functioning. She saw the grief that wasn't being talked about. She felt the fear underneath the confidence. She knew when the adults were lying, even to themselves. And so, they did what adults do when a child sees too clearly. They taught her through 1,000 small corrections that seeing was not safe, that knowing was presumptuous, that the things she perceived were not real, or were not hers to perceive, or were inappropriate to name. They called her too sensitive, too intense, too much. And Miriam, who was 7 and 8 and 9 years old and needed these people to survive, learned to suppress the perception. She learned to doubt what she saw. She learned to check her knowing against external validation before trusting it. She learned to make herself less. But the capacity didn't leave. It went underground. And her nervous system, which had learned to associate that capacity with the stress of being too much, began generating a low-level stress response every time the perception tried to surface, which was constantly, because Miriam was still extraordinarily perceptive. She just wasn't consciously acknowledging it anymore. This was the first layer of the glass, the unprocessed grief. When Miriam was 12, her family moved across the country. She lost her best friend, her neighborhood, the specific quality of light in the place she had grown up, the version of herself that existed in that context. It was a significant loss, and her parents, who were managing their own stress of the transition, communicated clearly that this was an exciting opportunity, and that Miriam should be grateful and positive. So Miriam was grateful and positive. She adapted. She made new friends. She built a new life. She was very, very good at it. And she never grieved the old one. The electromagnetic entrainment to everything she had loved in that first life remained in her field. The frequency of belonging to a specific place, a specific friendship, a specific version of herself. It stayed in her field as a hidden frequency for 25 years, broadcasting the signal of something beloved that was absent. And Miriam wondered, her whole adult life, why she never quite felt at home anywhere. Why every new place, every new relationship, every new version of her life felt like it almost fit, but not quite. She didn't know she was broadcasting the frequency of a home she had lost and never mourned. The inherited frequency. Miriam's mother had grown up in a family that had experienced significant loss in the previous generation. A loss that had never been spoken about directly, never processed openly, but that had shaped the emotional landscape of the family in profound ways. There was a quality in her mother's field, a frequency of waiting for the other shoe to drop, of happiness being temporary and loss being inevitable, that Miriam's nervous system had entrained to in utero and in the first years of her life. Miriam experienced this inherited frequency as a persistent, sourceless anxiety, a sense that good things didn't last, a difficulty allowing herself to fully receive joy because some part of her field was always braced for the moment it would be taken away. She had tried to work on this in therapy. She had identified the pattern intellectually. But intellectual identification doesn't change a field frequency. The frequency was in her nervous system at a level below cognitive reach. It had been there before she had language, before she had memory. It was in her field before she had a self that could choose what to carry. The unexpressed true self. And underneath all of this, broadcasting at whatever amplitude the 3 layers of suppression allowed, was Miriam's actual signal, her true frequency, the electromagnetic signature of a woman of extraordinary perceptiveness, deep feeling, genuine creative power, and a quality of presence that, when it came through even partially, made people feel seen in ways they couldn't quite explain. This was the frequency that had built her business, because it came through in her work, even at reduced amplitude. This was the frequency that kept people in her life, because even filtered through the glass, it was something worth staying near. This was the frequency that made her feel, in those rare, unguarded moments, like everything was exactly right. But it was broadcasting at perhaps 30% of its actual coherence, because 70% of her field's energy was tied up in maintaining the suppression of the 3 hidden layers. The glass was not a metaphor. The glass was the electromagnetic interference pattern created by 3 layers of hidden frequency running simultaneously in her field, scrambling her true signal, muffling her broadcast, and creating a persistent state of field incoherence that her conscious mind experienced as disconnection. Now, let me show you what changed for Miriam, and more importantly, Let me show you the mechanism of that change, because the mechanism is what's transferable to you. Miriam did not resolve her hidden frequencies by thinking about them. She did not journal her way to field coherence. She did not affirm her way through the glass. What she did was something much more specific and much more physiologically precise. She learned to feel her field, not metaphorically, literally. She learned to track the actual electromagnetic state of her heart field in real time, using her body as the instrument. And this is where the practice begins. Not at the end of this exploration, right here, in the middle, because the understanding and the practice are not separate things. The practice is how the understanding becomes real in your field. So I want you to do something right now, not later. Now, place your right hand on your chest, over your heart, and I want you to notice something very specific. Not what you feel emotionally, what you feel physically, in terms of the quality of the space around your hand. There is a field there. Your heart is generating it right now. It is not something you need to create or visualize or imagine. It is already there. It is already radiating. And your hand, which contains approximately 17,000 sensory receptors per square centimeter of skin, is already detecting it. What does it feel like? Not what should it feel like. What does it actually feel like right now, in this moment, with your hand on your chest? For most people, in the first moments of this practice, the field feels contracted, close to the body, dense. Sometimes there is a quality of pressure or of holding or of effortful maintenance, like the field is working hard to hold something in rather than radiating freely outward. That contraction is the electromagnetic signature of suppression. That density is what hidden frequencies feel like from the inside. The field is using energy to contain what it has been told not to broadcast, and that containment creates a quality of compression that you can feel with your hand if you pay attention. Now take a breath, a slow one, through your nose, all the way down into your belly. And as you exhale, I want you to do something very specific. I want you to let the breath carry an intention, not of releasing anything in particular, but of releasing the effort of containment, not releasing what's hidden, just releasing the effort of keeping it hidden. There is a difference. Releasing what's hidden requires knowing what it is. Releasing the effort of containment requires only recognizing that there is effort happening and choosing just for this breath not to maintain it. As you exhale, feel your hand. Notice if the quality of the field under your hand changes even slightly. Notice if there is any shift in the density, the temperature, the sense of space around your hand. This is not a visualization. This is a real-time measurement of your own field using your own body as the instrument. The changes you feel are real. They are the electromagnetic field responding to a shift in the autonomic nervous system's state. Take 3 more breaths like that. Each exhale releasing the effort of containment, not releasing the content, just the effort. And now, here is the next part of the practice. With your hand still on your heart, I want you to bring your awareness to a single quality that you know is true about you. Not a quality you aspire to, not a quality you perform, a quality that you know in your most honest moments is genuinely yours. It might be a quality of care, of perception, of creativity, of strength, of love, of humor, of courage, of something that doesn't have a simple name, but that you recognize as real when you feel it. Don't analyze it. Don't explain it. Just let it be present. Let your awareness rest on it, the way you would rest your hand on something warm and real. And notice what happens to the field under your hand. For most people, this is where the first genuine shift occurs, because that quality, whatever it is part of your true signal. It is a frequency that belongs to your actual electromagnetic signature. And when you bring conscious attention to it, without judgment, without the effort of suppression, the field responds. The coherence pattern of your heart begins to shift toward the frequency of that quality. The field under your hand begins to feel different, warmer, often, more spacious, less compressed. That is not imagination. That is your heart's electromagnetic field shifting toward coherence in response to a genuine, undefended recognition of your own frequency. If this is landing for you, if you can feel even a small shift in your own field right now, I would love for you to like this video and subscribe so we can keep going deeper into this together. This is what Miriam discovered. Not through a dramatic breakthrough, through this, through the simple, repeated practice of feeling her field, releasing the effort of containment, and letting one true quality be present without suppression. And over time, as she practiced this, something extraordinary happened. the hidden frequencies began to surface, not as overwhelming floods of suppressed emotion, as information, as recognizable patterns that her conscious mind could finally see, because she had stopped spending all of her field's energy on suppressing them. The suppressed capacity surfaced first. She began noticing, in ordinary moments, that she was perceiving things she had been trained to doubt. And instead of immediately suppressing the perception, she let it be present. She didn't act on it. She didn't announce it. She just let herself know what she knew. And the stress response that had been associated with that perception began to diminish. Because the nervous system, which had learned to treat perception as dangerous, was now experiencing perception in the context of safety. The association was being updated. The suppression was becoming unnecessary. The grief surfaced next. It came as a quality of longing that she had always been aware of, but had never let herself follow to its source. She followed it. She let herself feel, for the first time at 37 years old, the loss of the home she had left at 12. The loss of the friendship. The loss of the version of herself that had existed in that first place. It was not a comfortable feeling, but it was a clean one. And as she felt it fully, something she had carried for 25 years began to release. Not all at once, but genuinely, measurably, in terms of the quality of her field, it released. The inherited frequency was the most subtle and the most surprising, because as the other layers cleared, she began to notice a quality of bracing that had no personal history attached to it, a vigilance that preceded any memory she could access. And she began to understand, through the felt sense of her field, that this frequency was not originally hers, that she had absorbed it from a field she had been immersed in before she had a self. And that understanding, the simple recognition that this was not her frequency, that she had carried it without choosing it, and could release it without betraying anyone, was itself a shift in the field. Because the field responds to truth, and the truth that a frequency is not yours is a different electromagnetic signal than the belief that it is. The glass began to dissolve, not because Miriam resolved everything, not because she became someone new, but because the energy that had been tied up in maintaining suppression became available to broadcast her true signal. And as her true signal began to come through at higher amplitude, the world around her began to respond differently. Not dramatically, not overnight, but precisely. The way the quantum field always responds to a clearer signal. I want to pause here and ask you something. Have you ever felt your own field shift? A moment when the energy around you changed, when people responded to you differently, when you walked into a room and something in the atmosphere moved toward you rather than away. I would love to hear about that in the comments. Share what you noticed, what it felt like from the inside. Now let me go deeper into the mechanics of what happens at the quantum level when hidden frequencies surface and the field clears. Because this is where the science becomes genuinely extraordinary. The quantum field, as physicists understand it, is not empty space. It is a medium, a field of potential that permeates all of space and responds to the information carried by electromagnetic fields that move through it. The specific mechanism by which personal electromagnetic fields interact with the quantum field is an area of active research. And I want to be precise about what is established and what is theoretical, because precision is what makes this real rather than just poetic. What is established? Electromagnetic fields carry information. The pattern of your heart's electromagnetic field, its coherent state, its dominant frequencies, its amplitude, all of this constitutes real information that propagates outward from your body. This information influences the biological systems of other people in your proximity. This has been measured. People in close proximity show measurable physiological responses to changes in another person's heart field coherence state, even without any behavioral or verbal communication. The field is communicating information that the body reads and responds to. What is established at the quantum level? Quantum systems are exquisitely sensitive to field influences. The quantum coherence that allows biological systems to function. The quantum tunneling that enables enzyme reactions. The quantum entanglement that appears to operate in photosynthesis and in bird navigation. All of these quantum biological phenomena are sensitive to electromagnetic field conditions. A coherent electromagnetic field creates conditions that support quantum coherence in biological systems. An incoherent field disrupts it. This means that your field coherence is not just a metaphor for your emotional state. It is a literal environmental condition that affects the quantum level functioning of every biological system in your proximity, including your own. And here is the extraordinary implication. When your field is incoherent, when it is broadcasting the scrambled signal of hidden frequencies, you are literally creating an electromagnetic environment that disrupts quantum coherence in your own cells, your own neural networks, your own biological systems. You are broadcasting noise into the quantum substrate of your own functioning. This is why people with high levels of hidden frequency often feel physically tired in ways that sleep doesn't resolve. Why they feel cognitively foggy in ways that rest doesn't clear. Why they feel emotionally flat in ways that positive thinking doesn't lift. The incoherence is operating at the quantum level of their own biological functioning. It is not a psychological problem. It is a field problem. And when the field clears, when the hidden frequencies surface, and the suppression releases, and the true signal begins to broadcast at full coherence, the effects are not just psychological. They are physiological, cognitive, biological. The quantum coherence that was being disrupted by the incoherent field is restored. The cellular systems that were functioning in an electromagnetically noisy environment begin to function in a clearer one. This is why people who go through genuine field clearing, not just intellectual insight, but actual energetic release, often report changes that feel physical as much as emotional. More energy, clearer thinking, a quality of aliveness in the body that had been absent. These are not placebo effects. They are the measurable consequences of restoring coherence to a field that was generating quantum-level disruption in its own biological substrate. Now let me tell you about the moment Miriam understood what had been hidden. Because this is where the story reaches its most important point. She was sitting in her car in a parking lot, of all places. She had just come out of a meeting that had gone better than any meeting she could remember. Not because anything extraordinary had happened, because she had been entirely present. No glass, no membrane, just her, fully in the room, fully in her own signal, fully there. And she sat in her car afterward and felt something she recognized from childhood, but hadn't felt in decades. The feeling of being exactly herself, not performing herself, not managing herself, not broadcasting a carefully curated version of herself while the real signal hid underneath. Just herself, fully, without effort. And she understood in that moment what the glass had actually been. It had not been a barrier between her and the world. It had been a barrier between her and her own field. The suppression had not been keeping the world out. It had been keeping her out of her own frequency, out of her own broadcast, out of her own light. The world had always been available to her. The quantum field had always been ready to respond to her signal. What had been unavailable was the signal itself, because she had been hiding it, not from the world, from herself. And this is the truth that the thumbnail points to. Your mind hid this, not from the quantum field, from you. The quantum field has always been receiving your actual signal, the full signal, including the hidden frequencies. You were the one who didn't know what you were broadcasting. You were the one who thought you were sending one thing while sending another. The moment you see what's actually in your field, the moment the hidden frequencies become conscious, the signal changes, because consciousness changes the field. This is not metaphorical. When you become aware of a frequency you have been carrying unconsciously, the relationship between your conscious mind and your autonomic nervous system changes. The suppression mechanism, which operated below the threshold of consciousness, is now operating above it. And above the threshold of consciousness, you have choice. You have agency. You can choose to release the effort of suppression. You can choose to let the frequency be present without hiding it. You can choose to feel what is there rather than maintaining the energy-intensive project of not feeling it. And that choice changes the field immediately, measurably. The coherence pattern of your heart field shifts the moment the relationship between your conscious awareness and a hidden frequency changes. This is why insight alone, the intellectual understanding of what's hidden, is not enough. Understanding that you have suppressed grief does not release the electromagnetic pattern of suppressed grief from your field. The field changes when the felt relationship to the frequency changes. When you stop spending energy on suppression and start allowing the frequency to be present, felt, acknowledged, and eventually released. The practice is not about analysis. It is about allowing what is actually in your field to be there consciously without the effort of hiding it. Let me give you the next layer of the practice, the one that goes beyond releasing the effort of containment and into the actual process of conscious field clearing. This practice is called the visible field practice, and it works with the specific mechanism of consciousness changing the electromagnetic signal. Begin again with your hand on your heart. Take 3 of those releasing breaths, letting each exhale release the effort of containment. Let the field under your hand settle into whatever state it is actually in. without trying to change it, improve it, or make it more coherent. Just let it be what it is. Now, from that place of allowing, I want you to ask your field a question, not your mind, your field. The question is this: what am I carrying that I haven't let myself see? And then wait, not for a thought, for a sensation, a quality, a feeling that arises in the body, not as a clear answer, but as a direction, a pull toward something, a slight increase in density in some part of your body, a quality of emotion that arrives without a clear story attached to it. Don't analyze what arises. Don't immediately try to understand it, or trace it to its source, or figure out what it means. Just let it be present. Let it be visible. This is the key move. You are practicing letting a hidden frequency become visible, not to your mind, but to your awareness. There is a difference. Your mind will immediately want to categorize, explain, or dismiss what arises. Your awareness can simply hold it the way you would hold something fragile without gripping it. Stay with whatever arises for at least 30 seconds. This matters. The nervous system's first response to a surfacing suppressed frequency is often to immediately re-suppress it. The impulse to look away, to think of something else, to dismiss what just arose as not real or not important. That impulse is the suppression mechanism trying to reassert itself. Staying with the arising for 30 seconds is how you interrupt that mechanism. You are teaching your nervous system that this frequency can be present without catastrophe, that it can be visible without danger. After 30 seconds of simply being with what arose, take another releasing breath. And as you exhale, instead of releasing the effort of suppression, release the frequency itself. Not by pushing it away, by letting it move. Suppressed frequencies don't need to be expelled. They need to be allowed to complete their natural movement. Emotion, at its most fundamental level, is energy in motion. The word itself tells you emotion, energy moving. Suppressed emotion is energy that has been stopped mid-motion. The release is not expulsion. It is resumption. Let the energy complete its movement through your body and your field. For some frequencies, this feels like a wave of emotion that moves through and passes. For some, it feels like a physical release in the body, a relaxation of chronic tension, a softening of held muscles. For some, it feels like nothing dramatic at all, just a subtle shift in the quality of the field under your hand. A slight expansion, a slight warming, a slight increase in the sense of space. All of these are real. All of these are the field responding to the release of a hidden frequency. Trust what you feel, because your body is the most precise field measuring instrument you have access to. After the release, bring your awareness back to that quality you identified earlier, the one that is genuinely yours. Let it be present without suppression. Let it broadcast. Feel the field under your hand as it carries that frequency at whatever amplitude is available. And notice that the amplitude is higher than it was before. Not dramatically, perhaps, but measurably in terms of what your hand can feel. Because some of the energy that was tied up in suppression is now available to broadcast your true signal. This is the practice, not once, not as a dramatic ritual, as a daily act of field hygiene. The same way you tend to your physical body, you tend to your field. You check what's being carried. You release the effort of suppression. You allow hidden frequencies to become visible and to complete their movement. And you let your true signal broadcast at whatever amplitude the clearing makes available. Over time, the amplitude increases, not because you are building something new, because you are removing what was blocking what was already there. Now let me address something that may be arising for you as you sit with this. A question that is important to answer precisely, because getting it wrong leads to a practice that doesn't work. The question is, if I stop suppressing what's hidden, won't it overwhelm me? Won't all of that suppressed material flood out and be too much? And the answer is no. But the reason why is important to understand, because it changes how you approach the practice. Suppression does not hold back a flood. It creates one. The hydraulic metaphor of emotion, the idea that there is a reservoir of suppressed feeling that will burst if the dam is removed, is not accurate to how the nervous system actually works. What suppression actually does is maintain a chronic state of low-level activation. The nervous system is constantly spending energy to keep the suppressed frequency from surfacing. This chronic activation is itself a form of stress. It is not a state of rest, punctuated by occasional, difficult feelings. It is a state of continuous, effortful containment. When you release the effort of suppression, what you are releasing is not a flood. You are releasing the effort, and the frequency that surfaces is not a flood of everything at once. It is the specific frequency that was closest to the surface, the one that required the least energy to suppress, the one that is most ready to move. The nervous system, when given permission to feel in a safe context, releases what it is ready to release. It does not release everything simultaneously. It releases in layers, in waves, in the precise order that the system can integrate. This is the innate intelligence of your nervous system. It knows how to do this. It has been doing this in the moments of genuine release you have already experienced in your life. Those moments when you finally cried and felt relief rather than overwhelm. Those moments when you finally said what you had been holding and felt lighter rather than destroyed. The overwhelm that people fear is not the result of releasing suppression. It is the result of releasing suppression without the support of a coherent field. When you practice the visible field practice, you are not just releasing suppression. You are simultaneously strengthening field coherence, the releasing breath, the quality recognition, the hand on the heart. These are not just preparatory steps. They are active coherence generators. They are building the field coherence that creates the safe container for the release. You are not removing the dam and stepping back. You are creating a clear channel, a channel that allows the frequency to move through and complete its motion without flooding anything. This is the difference between catharsis and clearing. Catharsis is the release of suppressed material without the support of field coherence. It can feel dramatic and overwhelming, and it often doesn't produce lasting change because the field state that generated the suppression is still intact. Clearing is the release of suppressed material within a context of growing field coherence. It feels different, quieter, often more precise, and it produces lasting change because it is changing the actual electromagnetic pattern of the field, not just temporarily discharging accumulated pressure. Miriam's clearing was not dramatic. It was quiet and cumulative. It happened in parking lots and in the shower and in the 5 minutes before she got out of bed in the morning. It happened in the ordinary moments when she chose again and again to release the effort of containment and let what was there be visible. And the quantum field responded to each small clearing, not with dramatic external events, with a gradual, precise shift in what reached her, in the quality of the connections that formed, in the ease with which her capacity could express itself in her work, in the growing sense that she was actually in her own life, touching it, feeling it, inhabiting it, rather than watching it through glass. The glass didn't shatter. It dissolved, layer by layer, clearing by clearing, breath by breath, until one day she sat in a parking lot after a meeting and realized it was gone. Now let me show you something about what happens in the quantum field when your signal clears. Because this is where the mechanics of reality assembly become genuinely visible. The quantum field responds to coherence through a principle that physicists call resonance. Resonance is not a metaphor. It is a precise physical mechanism. When two systems share a common frequency, they tend to exchange energy. The more coherent the frequency, the more effectively the resonance operates. This is why a tuning fork struck and brought near another tuning fork of the same frequency causes the second fork to vibrate. The coherent signal of the first fork induces resonance in the second. Your energy field operates on this principle. The coherent frequencies in your field induce resonance in other systems, people, situations, opportunities that share those frequencies. The more coherent your signal, the more effectively it induces resonance. The more clearly your true frequency broadcasts, the more precisely the quantum field can assemble around it. And here is the critical implication. When your field is carrying hidden frequencies alongside your true signal, the resonance you induce is mixed. You are simultaneously inducing resonance with your true frequency and with your hidden frequencies. And the hidden frequencies, being suppressed and therefore incoherent, induce incoherent resonance. They attract, in the language of resonance, systems that are themselves carrying suppressed, incoherent frequencies. This is the electromagnetic explanation for why people who are carrying suppressed grief tend to attract relationships that involve loss. Why people who are carrying suppressed fear tend to attract situations that confirm the fear. Why people who are carrying inherited frequencies of scarcity tend to attract circumstances that resonate with scarcity. It is not the universe punishing them. It is resonance operating precisely. The incoherent frequencies in their field are inducing resonance with other incoherent systems. When the hidden frequencies clear, when the suppression releases, and the field becomes more coherent, the resonance pattern changes. The true frequency, now broadcasting at higher amplitude, induces resonance with systems that share that frequency. The incoherent hidden frequencies, no longer suppressing the true signal, no longer induce the same pattern of resonance. What reaches you changes. Not because you changed your thoughts, not because you affirmed a new reality, but because the actual electromagnetic signal your field is broadcasting changed. And the quantum field, which responds to the actual signal, not the intended signal, assembles differently around a different signal. This is the precision of it. This is why it works when it works, and why it doesn't work when it doesn't. The quantum field is not responding to your intentions. It is responding to your field. And your field is broadcasting what's actually there, including what your consciousness has been hiding. Make what's hidden conscious. Clear the suppression. Broadcast your true signal at full coherence, and watch what the quantum field assembles around that signal. Not because you deserve it, not because you've earned it, because coherence induces resonance, because a clear signal attracts a clear response, because the quantum field is not a vending machine that rewards virtue. It is a resonant medium that responds to the actual frequency it receives. And your actual frequency, your true signal, the electromagnetic signature of who you actually are beneath everything you've been hiding, is extraordinary. It is the frequency that made people feel something when they were near you, even when you were doing nothing in particular. It is the frequency that produced those moments of inexplicable rightness, of everything clicking into place, of being exactly yourself without effort. It is the frequency that has been broadcasting at whatever amplitude the suppression allowed for your entire life. And it is ready to broadcast at full coherence the moment you stop spending energy on hiding it. Let me tell you about one more person, briefly, because this story illuminates a specific aspect of the hidden frequency phenomenon that is important to understand. A man named Eli, who was in his late 40s and who had spent most of his adult life being extraordinarily good at things that didn't interest him. Eli was a successful engineer. He was genuinely skilled. He solved problems elegantly and efficiently. He was respected by colleagues and well compensated for his work. And he was profoundly, quietly, persistently unhappy in a way that he had convinced himself was simply the nature of adult life. What Eli's consciousness was hiding was not suppressed grief or inherited frequency or unprocessed loss. What Eli was hiding was desire. Specifically, a desire so large and so incompatible with the life he had built that his conscious mind had decided the safest thing was to not know it was there. Eli had wanted, since he was a child, to make music. Not as a hobby, as a vocation, as the primary thing, as the organizing principle of his life. He had a quality of musical perception and creative impulse that was, in the honest assessment of people who had heard him play in his early 20s, genuinely extraordinary. And he had decided at 23 that this was not a viable path. He had made the practical choice. He had built the practical life. He had told himself the story that the desire had faded, that he had outgrown it, that it was a young person's dream, and he was now a grown man with responsibilities. But the desire hadn't faded. It had gone underground. It had become a hidden frequency in his field. And because it was suppressed under conditions of grief, because choosing against it had been a genuine loss, it carried the electromagnetic signature of both desire and grief simultaneously. A frequency of something beloved that he was telling himself he didn't want anymore. And his field broadcast this every day. The signal of a man who was carrying an unexpressed vocation as a hidden frequency. A man whose true signal was being significantly muffled by the energy required to not know what he wanted. The quantum field assembled around this signal precisely. Eli attracted a life that was competent and comfortable, and completely devoid of the quality of aliveness that comes when your true frequency is broadcasting at full coherence. He attracted colleagues who were similarly competent and similarly muffled. He attracted a routine that reinforced the suppression. He attracted circumstances that confirmed the story that practical choices were the only real ones. When Eli's hidden frequency surfaced, it did not come as a dramatic revelation. It came as a quality of longing that he had always been aware of, but had been very successfully not following to its source. During a period of unusual stress, when his suppression mechanisms were temporarily overtaxed, the longing became impossible to not follow. He found himself, one evening, sitting at a piano that had been in the corner of his living room for years, mostly decorative, and playing for 3 hours without stopping. And something happened in those 3 hours that he could not explain in any terms other than the glass dissolved. He was in his own field, fully, for the first time in decades. The hidden frequency of his desire was broadcasting openly, without suppression, at full amplitude, and the quality of aliveness that accompanied it was so distinct from his ordinary state that he could not, afterward, pretend he hadn't felt it. He did not immediately quit his job and become a musician. The story is not that simple, and the wisdom is not that crude. but he stopped hiding the desire from himself. He stopped spending field energy on not knowing what he wanted. He let the frequency be present, consciously, in his field. And the quantum field began to respond differently, not by magically producing a music career, by producing, with increasing frequency, the specific resonances, the people, the conversations, the opportunities that were coherent with a man whose true signal included a deep musical vocation. The field was responding to the actual signal, which now included the desire at conscious, acknowledged amplitude rather than hidden, suppressed amplitude. Eli's life changed, slowly, precisely, in the direction of his actual frequency. Not because he made different choices right away, though eventually he did, but because his field changed first. And the field change preceded and enabled the life change. This is always the sequence. The field changes first. Reality assembles around the changed field. The life changes last. People who try to change their life before changing their field find that the new life doesn't stick, because the field that created the old life is still broadcasting the same signal. People who change their field first find that the life change is not effortful. It is almost inevitable, because the quantum field is assembling around a different signal, and the life is the assembly. Now I want to speak directly to what you might be feeling as you sit with all of this. You might be feeling a quality of recognition, a sense that you have known some version of this, that you have felt the glass, that you have sensed that what you were broadcasting and what you were intending were not the same thing. If that recognition is present, let it be there. It is your field confirming what your mind is processing. You might be feeling a quality of grief, a sense of the time spent broadcasting a muffled signal, the years of life assembled around hidden frequencies rather than your true one. If that grief is present, let it be there too. It is appropriate. It is the field beginning to feel the shift of the suppression, which is the first step toward releasing it. You might be feeling a quality of resistance, a part of you that is not sure it wants to know what's hidden, that is not sure the clearing is safe, that has good reasons, developed over a long time, for maintaining the suppression. If that resistance is present, honor it. Do not push through it. The resistance is not an obstacle to the clearing. It is part of the clearing. It is the nervous system's protective mechanism making itself visible. And a visible protective mechanism is one you can work with, rather than one that operates invisibly to maintain suppression. You might be feeling a quality of excitement, a sense that something is possible that you had not known was possible, a quality of energy in the field that feels like the beginning of something. If that excitement is present, let it be the frequency it is. It is your true signal, responding to the possibility of broadcasting at full coherence. All of these are welcome. All of these are information from your field. Your field is always communicating. The practice is learning to listen. And I want to ask you something here, because this is where the collective field becomes real. Have you ever had a moment when your energy shifted in a room? When you felt your own light activate? When someone responded to you in a way that told you something had changed in your broadcast? What did that feel like? Leave it in the comments. These moments matter, and naming them out loud is itself a form of field coherence. Here is what I want you to take from this exploration as the integration principle. The one thing that, if you carry nothing else, will change your field. Your consciousness has been hiding things from you, not from the world. The quantum field has always been receiving your full signal, including everything you didn't know you were broadcasting. The hiding was always only from yourself. And the moment the hiding becomes unnecessary, the moment you can be with what's in your field without the effort of suppression, the signal changes. Not because you added something, because you stopped spending energy on concealment, and that energy, freed from the project of hiding, becomes available to broadcast your true frequency. You don't need to build radiance. You need to stop hiding it from yourself. The radiance is there. It has always been there. It has been broadcasting at whatever amplitude the suppression allowed, and underneath every layer of hidden frequency, every suppressed capacity, every unprocessed grief, every inherited pattern, every unexpressed desire, underneath all of it, your true signal is intact, coherent, ready. It has been waiting for you to stop looking away. The quantum field is ready to assemble around a different signal the moment you broadcast one. And you can broadcast a different signal the moment you stop spending your field's energy on hiding what's already there. This is not a process that takes years. The field changes in real time. The moment a hidden frequency becomes conscious, the signal changes. The moment you release the effort of suppression, the coherence shifts. The moment your true frequency broadcasts at higher amplitude, the quantum field begins to respond to a different signal. It starts now. Not when you have resolved everything. Not when you have cleared every hidden frequency. Now, with whatever small shift in the field the practice you did earlier produced, with whatever quality of recognition is present as you sit with this, with the simple act of letting what's in your field be visible to you rather than hidden from you. Your field is active. Your signal is broadcasting. And now you know something about what it has been broadcasting that you didn't know before. That knowledge changes the signal, because consciousness changes the field, because a hidden frequency that becomes visible is no longer hidden, and a frequency that is no longer hidden is no longer spending your field's energy on its own concealment. Let it be visible. Let it be present. Let it complete its movement through your field. And let your true signal, the one that has been there this whole time, broadcast at the amplitude that the clearing makes available. The quantum field is listening. It has always been listening, and it responds to what you actually broadcast, not what you intend to broadcast. Now you know the difference. Now you can change the signal. Your aura is not broken. It is not weak. It is not insufficient. It is carrying things you didn't know it was carrying, and broadcasting a signal that includes frequencies you didn't know were there. That changes today. Not because you did everything perfectly, because you became conscious of what was hidden. And consciousness is the most powerful field-altering force available to a human being. You have been radiating your whole life. Most of it you never chose, and some of it you never knew about. Now you know. Now you choose. Now the signal changes. Welcome to your own field. Welcome to the frequencies you didn't know you were carrying. Welcome to the clearing that begins when the hiding ends. Your light is on. It has always been on. And now, with what was hidden becoming visible, it begins to broadcast at the coherence it was always capable of. The quantum field is assembling around your actual signal, the one that includes everything you've been hiding, and the extraordinary true frequency that has been there underneath it all along. If this exploration moved something in your field, return to it in a quiet moment, in the stillness of morning, before the day takes hold, or in the receptive space just before sleep, when the field is most open to what is true. Or share it with someone whose light you sense is waiting beneath the surface. Someone whose signal you know is more luminous than they can currently see. When you do, something real happens. between two fields. Their awareness activates. Your coherence deepens. The resonance between you strengthens both broadcasts and adds to the luminosity that is already building in the collective field. Let it broadcast. Let it all broadcast. The grief and the desire and the inherited patterns and the suppressed capacity and the extraordinary, luminous, coherent, true frequency that is the actual electromagnetic signature of who you are. Let the quantum field receive the real signal and watch what it assembles around you.